Alright, I am back. So, yesteryear. It's been a while since I've done work. What was I planning? What was I doing? Probably various things. Okay. So we were talking to this guy. So, Oleander, I think it's time for you to go notify the others. We're going to need more than the two of us. Huh. Okay. So this... Okay. So last time I had basically we're exploring a cave, and I had just created this dialogue where Sadak dismisses the other guy with us. So it's just us and him. And what he's going to do now is he's going to lure us into some place that he has seen. Or like find some sort of opportunity to like trap us then. Because he thinks that we're suspicious, that we are somehow involved in all this. So I'm trying to think, where would I want a good, like, place to be? Because I need a few things. I need the ability, or I need Sadak to think that it is not a place where you can escape from. I need him to, actually, let's put this down as like requirements for the trap. Now let's do like writing. Night light. So I'm trying to figure out, I have so much stuff now. It's like this seems to be the correct draft for part 2. Okay, this actually, yeah. Okay. So we have ideas for weird stuff, ideas for getting trapped. Let's say, first off, requirements for getting trapped. It creates a clear physical block. So basically, Sadok can leave without or with you behind. Or Sadok can talk to you. So Sadok can talk to you through the barrier. Probably also see him, but not actually necessary. Because I want to show his reaction, but I've just thought I don't necessarily need to see him. Because I can just have him, like, you know, Jackie knows what he's thinking because his voice will betray it. And I can show that to the player by just moving the camera to where Jackie couldn't literally see it. Hang on, I'm going to close the window. Yeah, so let's say that. Don't necessarily to see him, but camera should move. So yeah, basically I'll just have to also, probably the writing would also indicate that Jackie notices his, like, emotions. Actually, I just had an interesting idea. What if Sadok is more emotive when he's, like, when we can't see him because Jackie is imagining how he's reacting? Kind of an interesting idea. I don't think I'm going to actually, I think it'd be too subtle. You know, of, like, basically using the player character's perceptions to, like, fill in gaps of things that she can't see. I mean, I guess that's kind of like the theme of the game, but I'll just put it here. I actually really like the idea of not being able to see him now. And that makes this a bit easier, because now I have that option of, like, maybe he kicks some sort of lock or something like that, or, like, kicks a rock, I meant to say, and, like, causes, like, a cave to collapse. But that could be too dangerous. Because I think his goal is to still, like, be able to get you out. Or thought he was able to. So yeah, no instantly obvious paths to escape, because that would make him look stupid. And he's meant to be sort of panicked and confused now, because, as I've been saying, basically the reason he's trapping you is because he thinks there's this whole conspiracy now of, like, people protecting you and he doesn't know why. When in reality, it's basically just the governor has preemptively decided you aren't involved because that would cause bad publicity. And you are just kind of boneheadedly, like, prodding at this dangerous creature. Creates a clear boundary. Also, it should be relatively easy. So it should be a place we've seen before, or a place Sadok has seen before. I don't know if there'd be any sort of premonition from him. You know, some sort of like, what is the word for something like that's not deja vu? Well, I guess it actually would be deja vu. Because it's still like that feeling of like, oh wait, I've been here before. Even though he hasn't. This is its own thing. So he should be able to get you out, or thought he was able to. There should be no instantly obvious paths to escape. And he thinks... What does he think? I don't know. Oh yeah, and then they should loop back into... Okay. So ideas. I kind of like this one where you go down into like a narrow hole and then he just hauls a piece, like it's in some sort of like probably let's elaborate on this. In the hideout, there's some chain link fences. No, actually, there's an old spring mattress. Okay, but the issue is, if it's just a little hole, then it's obvious how you can get out, which is whatever other hole is there. Like, either you can get out or you can't get out. And also, this means that he would not... Like, this doesn't create quite as many things as I need. The player should not be able to... Let's put this here as well. So that can leave you behind. The player cannot reasonably get out. Where if it's just like a 40-pound or 20-pound spring mattress, you know, the player could just push that and come out. Unless he puts something else on top of it. But then that'd be like dangerous. Because now I'm imagining like, you know, a little hole with a spring on top. And then there's like hundreds of pounds of rocks on top of the springs. So it's like that's going to collapse and kill her. Not really an option. Okay. Let's say, how do we make this mountable for the player? And also, how do we hide an extra passage? I know. The illusory walls. We have the entire thing of like, if we go back to here, this whole house was an illusion. We've already established the concept that like entire environments can be altered by these like green lights. So that makes it a lot easier if the player sees one of these lights and can shoot it. And we've hinted at it. Okay. And that makes a smaller space more sensible, because then Sadok looks reasonable because he's trapping the player in somewhere where it's like, it's obvious that he's seen every wall of it. It's not like a gigantic, like, you know, section of the cave where there's some high passage that, you know, he should have been looking for things like that, or like just not trap the player in like, you know, a gigantic room with hundreds of chasms or whatever. So yeah, I think I think this is close. Having a little thing, or like a little cave that he's interested in you, or interested in putting you in. He then gets some of the old garbage, something that's relatively lightweight, and puts it up as a barrier. The big question then is, how do we lock this? So like, okay, this makes sense. He's a police officer. He's got a gun. It's just that when he leaves to investigate further without you, he just moves something in front of it that's heavy enough that the player can't move it themselves. And that's reasonable because he's a kind of burly guy, and Jackie is not meant to be a particularly strong person. Well, yeah, I guess that's reasonable. She's athletic, but not, like, physically bulky. Okay, so let's put this here. Or, actually... So now what we need is, how do we make sure that the green light is subtle enough that he doesn't look stupid? I mean, I guess the player can think he's stupid all they want. It should be reasonable to think he's not stupid, though. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stories where, like, once you examine it, it's like, oh, the character is just like an idiot. And even if you enjoy the story, it can be hard to sort of, like, get fully immersed in a dangerous situation when it's like, if only the characters weren't all idiots, this would be solved very easily. But okay. I think I'll just say it's small. Now, the question is, how does he coax you into this? He's smart enough to not just tell you to go into it. Maybe he left something. He uses reverse psychology. The player just, like, maybe Jackie is actually the one. So what I can do is, like, have Jackie just be interested in looking in there because she thinks something is off with it. Like, maybe she notices the green light preemptively. And then Sadak seizes the opportunity and just immediately gets the thing. I know. If you're close to it, he'll kick you in. Okay, that makes sense. He left something interesting near the hole, so that way it feels less like, oh, this is a trap, and more like, oh, there's a thing over there, so I'll just go over there, and then you do, and Sadak just sprints up to you, punts you into this hole, and like drags a mattress over the top of it while you're disoriented. Okay, this is interesting. That also means there's like a risk of him accidentally killing Jackie from this maneuver, like, you know, if Jackie fell and like broke her neck. And he's just like accepting that that is a possibility. And so the player can be mad about that if they want to be. Yeah, okay. I think this is the answer. I'm gonna say that he will... So in this old area now, there should be a hole in the ground. So I'm thinking, let's get a Krita. Yeah, so a hole in the ground, cots, old spring mattress, or something like that. Something where it's be reasonable for it to be, like, large enough that it will cover this little thing, but light enough that Sadak can carry it. And then there's something heavy enough that Sadak can move it onto that thing, and you can't get out. All right, Roots hideout. Oh, this way. I can do this. Swap back and forth easily. So I'm saying... probably... a little room like this. Perhaps. And then maybe this goes down deeper. And there's like I don't know, something like this. Are you spraying what I'm saying over here? You know, so like this thing down here would be... I don't think... this wouldn't be a hole, but it would be like rock. Yeah, so let's have like... hole. And then there'd be like old spring mattress or something. How do old spring mattresses look exactly? I'll just put like, I don't know, something like this. Hmm. Okay, so once we have that, Sadak will punt us into there. So I'll just have like have just a little area like this, basically, of like, you know, Sadak is standing up above us. Obviously, this is like being exaggerated for size, but like, because yeah, it needs to be the actual physical dimensions of this cave will matter quite a bit. Where, you know, that sort of dictates what he can actually use to block you from getting back out. So this hole needs to be pretty small. Once the player's here. Which way does Jackie's hair go? Something like this. Okay. I wonder if my brother playing like Rust or whatever he's playing, it comes up on the microphone. Very faintly through the walls, I can hear him having the time of his life. Okay, scenes, quest, nightlight. Yeah, let's call this, trapped one. Maybe like roots, trapped one. And I just realized that to make this, work properly, so I need to flip this way. In order to have the characters... Wait, actually, I don't need to do that. I just need to give enough space over here for the dialogue box. Okay. Oh. And now what I'm doing... Actually, I just realized... I have a much better idea. Delete Sadak and put the barrier here. In fact, shouldn't the barrier... I guess... No. I guess I'll keep this here. Basically what I'm thinking is... I'll have to figure out how he properly locks you in. But yeah, I think he'll just drag this over. And basically because Jackie is not stupid, she will not try to, like, tackle him when he says, like, hey, I'm gonna kill you if you, like, move, so don't move. Jackie won't move. Maybe the player's allowed to, and then they just die. And that's an end. I've been thinking about that, of like, you know, alternate endings to the game, sort of like Nier Automata style. Where they just immediately boot you back to whatever you were doing before. But okay, and here what I'm gonna do, actually, I'll just have a little thing that you can like look at down here, and then it'll reveal a mystical like gap. Okay. Is this thing saved? Yeah. So what I can do now is I can trap the player in here. So what I'm going to have is this trap player pass export okay let's see. Oh yeah, we need the scene template first. This will be roots trapped 1. There we are. There we are. All right. Beautiful. And then we have a talker. You know, I just realized it would probably have made more sense for Oleander to stick around and be our guard, so that way... Well... I don't know, both could work. I think I prefer the player being alone for a little bit. Just as sort of like a pacing thing, of like, letting the player like go on their own little adventure instead of like having to talk to somebody else. So yeah, this is gonna be... yeah, that. And for now, it's just going to be, you examine the hole. With no further, exits. Okay, dialogue. Quest, nightlight. Eventually, this will be where you get kicked. Let's just say that. Let's see what this does. Alright, so now we can look at this. Examine the hole. It's a shallow hole with no further exits. Hmm. This whole thing physically doesn't make much sense to me. But okay. So we need our trapped scene. I can always think of something better soon. You know, some sort of supernatural mechanism like a door or something like that. Hmm. Yeah, I'll ignore it for now. Okay. So once you are in phase whatever... So next state NL2 progress, so we're dismissed. So let's see what Sadok has to say. It should be our to-do. Luck lures you into some place and traps you. Let's say we need to be inside CH Root's cave. Nav at CH Root's cave. Back to the cave. Otherwise, not main speaker nav at CH Roots cave hideout. Because I want to be in this area. CH Roots hideout. Sadok is thinking, should we go from here? I want to look at that old... So if this thing is connected to memories... So yeah. He's I think he like has the vague notion of a plan at this point. He's like, okay, this room had it only had one entrance. So I can corner her here and question her. And then he has the idea when he sees the hole in the bed in the box, he's like, wait, I can corner her even further and physically trap her here. And that way, like, I can, like, investigate without, like, knowing where she is, without her, like, being able to, you know, being in stabbing distance. So if this thing is connected to memories, I can't imagine a place with more. Okay, and then otherwise... So do you think it's some sort of entrance? Looks like it's... Doesn't seem to go anywhere. And then what we'll do is if. So main speaker. Oh wait, no. So if state get stat NL2 progress equals context dot NL2 kick. Basically, let's do, so what is this? It's going to be just 2. Stop kicks you into the hole. And then what we'll do is save load state add stat NL2 progress state no, get tree current scene change scene no go to scene path trapped scene. Okay, and then we'll just do context trap player. And this will only have, this will have a conditional of like state dot NL2, well, I think this is fine. So eventually I can have like some sort of stat here. Oh yeah, also, when we're here, the player should dismiss Sadok. Boom. All in one fell swoop. And it might have to be an exit plus. Well, let's say that for now. You know what? Let's just put Sadok. Oh wait, no. That's a 3D guy. This version of Sadok. I think I have to do this because I switched scenes for now. I'll see if it works. Okay. No further exit. Failed to execute. Get stat. NL that. Invalid named index. NL2 kick for base of type object. Why exactly? Oh, it's NL2 phase kick. I forgot to update it here. Or let's call it trap. That way, it's not specifically tied to, you know, kicking her into the trap. And you know what? I just realized I can just have a function. Should trap. Return state get stats NL2 progress 2. And then we can just do context phase trap, or context should trap. There we go. Okay, see if this works. So shallow hole with no further exits. Turn save load get stat NL2 progress equals 2. So did this not work? Alright, so what was Val? R was false. Oh, because it was... Okay, hang on. Hang on, I need to go to, like, state data. So we should have NL2 progress. Okay, progress is 3. And progress is 3 because I'm pretty sure I messed up the stat. Oh, no. Okay, okay. It was because I just had the wrong number. Okay. The shallow hole with no further exits. I don't think this goes anywhere. So that kicks you into the hole. Yeah, I think this one still, yeah, I think it's exactly what I said. We should also have a player. So let's say this and global player state has follower stock. Okay, so we need Sadak again. Oh. Hang on, I'm gonna load game NL2. Okay, so we just go here, talk to him. Can I help you? Yeah, let's talk about this stuff. Okay. Okay. This stuff, the alerts don't seem to be working. Yeah. So that's a bug. Just put that on the list. Dialogue, follower alerts aren't working. Boom, boom. Talk to him again. This is the important thing. I'd like to keep exploring. Oh wait, actually now Sadak is staring at the small hole. So I just realized, so that means that this hideout, we might not see it. So hideout, let's do journal note roots cave hideout. There of hideout. Preemmer it. Night light 2. In this cave. And then what I'll do is state get stat this. Also, YouTube has already deemed me unfit for music. Can't believe it's almost been an hour already. Otherwise, we should keep looking. There's probably hidden paths we're missing. Okay. And then Sadaka is staring at the small hole. So do you think it's some sort of entrance? It doesn't seem to go anywhere. Or then why are you staring at it so intently? Okay, I think he's kind of deliberately, so he's like half deliberately trying to trick the player and half just genuinely like sort of frozen in thought of like trying to run through how to actually like, you know, basically gain the upper hand in this situation. Staring at the small hole. Do you think it's some sort of entrance? It doesn't seem to go anywhere. It's probably nothing. Then why are you staring at it so intently? I'm thinking. You examine the hole. It's a shallow hole with no further exits. I don't think it goes any... Sadok kicks you into the hole. Okay. Now, we have our second step. NL 2, 4. You know, what the hell is wrong with you? Oh wait, I keep forgetting. Our shoulder hurts from the fall. In fact, we examined the hole. Okay. Oh wait. This'll take some work to keep Let's go back up to the dialogue that I just wrote. Okay, that seems fine. NL2, 4. Shoulder hurts from the fall. The hell is wrong with you? I could have broken my neck. He unholsters his pistol. Isn't unholsters a word? Like, what else would you say? Yeah, unholster. So he unholsters his pistol. And I'm gonna say... You know what, let's say, like, not state get stat. NL2 trapped. Actually, I have a good idea. Mention gun. And then exit, or let's say like NL4 gun. Or like this. Exit. Basically the way exit works is it'll search for the first result that does exit where mentioned NL2 gun. There's nowhere for us to run. Let's add unholsters, and also let's add unholster. So what is your involvement in the disappearances? What? Didn't you already investigate me? Let's have this be Q and L2 4, or like let's say Q to questions and L2. I'll just call it this. What I really need is just like something like this. You know, just a generic like nameless loops, because right now I just have kind of like assembly type programming, but I don't want to make a whole loop construct. That's going to be like a bunch of work. So I'll just not. So yeah, it'll just be Q and L2. 1. So what are you talking about? No, actually, I think I want this to be something like this, where Hmm. Hmm. I'm gonna do sus 0. Hmm. Oh wait, no. Okay. So now we're gonna need some crazy stuff here. So let's say something similar to this. Oh wait. Oh yeah. I have a similar thing here. So I'm gonna do that here with note grab, or wait, no. Note underscore where mentioned q nl2 1. Actually, let's just say like nl2 gun. Hmm. Actually, no, we do need to, like, what are you talking about? Hmm. Okay. So what is your involvement in the disappearances? You show up, so people start going missing. Suddenly, a woman with no knowledge, or a woman with knowledge of the medium, let's say these machines, a foreign woman, knowledge of these machines and these ruins appears. She leads one of my men into a trap. One of my men into the creature's trap and finds her way into this cave. So I was helping. When you say it like that. Hmm. Then she asks personally. You know more than you're letting on. God forbid I do a nice thing for someone. So yeah, this will kind of like lay bare all of Sadok's like thinking about all of the events that have transpired and why he's feels like he's been forced to do this. Alright, and here we mention Q, NL2, 1. Or like NL2, Q1. Say something like that, maybe. Then I have... Hang on. I made a bunch of notes for this. This is one of those things that I was like sitting in my bed, just writing all this script. Okay. Free and stuff like that. Ah. Okay. I had no idea the creature was going to be out. Okay, let's actually have these be sort of like interactive things. I'm gonna move suspicion up to here, perhaps, and then she comes. Let's call it like 10 at the start. I'll try to figure out what the actual like game is gonna be here. So okay. So I did not have knowledge of these ruins before I got here. Beyond what people know about, beyond what basically everyone knows. Such as... lost... You know, the lost civilization of the Gelrin. They made all sorts of... They made their ruins, such as the medium, and died. Then died out. Did they die out? So I didn't have any... So I didn't have knowledge of these ruins before I got here, beyond what basically everyone knows. Or let's say I only knew what people everywhere know. Okay, so that's good. And then she leads one of my men into the creature's trap, revealing this cave. I had no idea that... I did know... Let's say I did no such thing. I just saw a strange light. I just saw a strange light and asked. So it asked Oleander, who was already following me. You know what? This may not be true. So let's just say I did no such thing. Oleander was already following me. Okay, this seems fine. I didn't lead Oleander to the strange light. He was already following me. That's all true. And yet... he was the one who was lured by whatever... illusion. You just have... I followed him and saved his life. Let's say that. Okay, then she comes back and asks to help. And asks to join us. So you understand how strange this sounds, right? He seems agitated that we don't respond. Well, I mean, obviously he's agitated that we don't respond. That's not even really a thing to say. Like, what is that? Ah, well. I'll just type what comes to me, and then I'll clean it up later. But okay, I was helping. God forbid I do a nice thing for people. You know what? I'm gonna say, saying nothing reduces your suspicion. He shakes his head. I got so many, like, crazy special character things. I'll say this one reduces suspicion. You know what? I think this one also does. Let's see. We have been kicked into a hole, and we are being interrogated for being sus. Because we seem to know a lot about this weird missing cases thing with all these spooky monsters and stuff. Also, I don't know if you've seen that I've switched from 3D to a playable storyboard at the moment. But yeah, because the 3D version of the game still exists, but this way it's easy to write. But yeah, so right now, I'm sort of trying to figure out how do we talk him out of all the suspicions and sort of lay bare why he thinks you're, like, causing issues. Let's say... So your shoulder hurts after the fall. Hang on. I'm just going to skip to the end of this song. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do... what am I going to do? Nah, I'll just leave it as it is for now. Unholsters his pistol. What is your involvement in the disappearances? What are you talking about? People started going missing. Shortly after, a foreign woman with knowledge of these machines and these ruins appears. She leads one of my men into the creature's trap, revealing this cave. Then she comes back and asks to join us in the cave. You understand how strange this all sounds, correct? It sounds like someone who knows more than they're letting on. Let's say that. What would the player say here? I'm just trying to find out where my mother went. This is a custom hand-rolled thing. Eventually I'm going to make it a plugin. But I have to make it a bit less buggy at first, because right now there's some minor bugs with various notifications and things. You know, let's say if we have stat... Actually, no. Thanks. So I'm just trying to figure out where my mother went. So this should be state get stat Sadoc. Oh wait, no. New mom? Yeah, okay. Of course. We'll get to her. Kind of branching story. It's in a strange place where I'm thinking of it more as like interactive story rather than branching, where like you can change a lot of details, but the ending tends to be the same for most things. Like in this case, for example, I think what would happen is probably just like, at most, it would be like a bad end where you just get shot in the head and killed, and then it just loads you back into the dialogue. And otherwise, you only get like more context for the characters. Yeah, something like that. Hmm. Let's say Sharif Amir. He drops his gun, then races to pick it back up. Say, what did you just say? Who? Okay. So I'm gonna need here. Let's put this for now as a to-do, like, a to-do there. And then here, what I'm gonna do is, that doesn't change my question. So I was just trying to figure out. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, let's just say that. Let's just say this. I just thought if I helped you, you might help me. Say that for now. And then, what is the other response we could have here? I don't, let's say she might just think I don't care about any of this. I was just like, I just got caught up in it. Or like, I didn't know about any of this until I went, oh, something fell. You know, let's put that up here. I'm kind of talking to myself, basically. Yeah. So let's put this here. I was just trying to figure out where my mother went. Till I was arrested. Hmm. Hmm. Let's say that. Okay, so I don't know about any of this until I was arrested. You know, let's just say You know what? We only arrested you. Actually, I have a good idea. Go to ignorance. Let's call it this. Already thought you were suspicious. Half of this is true. Hmm. 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 You know, I think for now, let's remove this for now. Because I do think I'd like to have the using notes be required for this interrogation. Sort of as like a gameplay challenge. Okay, so it sounds like this. So let's think about these last lines. So, so what possible evidence do you have? I don't think this is one word. I don't think this works. Okay, I'm gonna say that. Okay. My other question. Another question. How do you know the governor? So why is he protecting you? So let's say, what do you mean protecting me? Alright, let's try this now. So we'll do like a Q, NL2, or mention. Q, NL2, governor. And then if we have mentioned Q, NL2, governor, answered, and then we'll forget Q, NL2. Okay. So I'm not letting you go until I figure out what's happened. Okay. So what I want is to sort of throw the player into the deep end of like, okay, go through your journal and figure out what actually like can answer Sadok's questions properly. So when you were arrested, So when he found out you were arrested, he demanded that I don't. Let's do this. Note NL2 section. Oh wait, no. This is journal note. So the governor was... let's say Night Light 2, Sadok protection. Apparently protecting me from arrest. Okay. Okay, so first off, let's have a note. What do we get from the governor? I need to get a few different things. So Nightlight, we need Oleander, we need the governor. Where's the governor? I think he's in locations, Crab Hill. Yes, okay. Governor meeting, You know what? Let's have this here as journal note. Crab Hill, governor, meeting, publicity. Sounds like the governor more concerned will bring on bad publicity. My safety. Say governor, night lights. Okay. Where mentioned Q, NL2, governor. So he was more concerned about causing an international incident. Let's say I wanted to make sure I had a good time. Let's say he's not that cynical. let's say... What am I looking for? I have more dialogue here. Okay. Get this here. Let's have these all be Q... I'm not sure. So yeah, what do you mean protecting me? And then that means, so like, and that's why you had trapped me down here. Instead of just arresting me. So I didn't know any of that. So you certainly acted like you owned the place. Or you certainly acted like you knew you were untouchable. What would he say? Yeah, let's just say that for now. Yeah. Anyone with sense would have kept their distance when we released them. Okay, that makes sense. I like this as, like, it's not quite, yeah. This is the one that goes for the stomach. I guess. Of, like, suddenly making him realize that he's in deep trouble for, like, holding a random civilian at gunpoint outside of due process. But okay. So he found out you were arrested, I was called to his office, and he demanded that I don't interfere with your activities. I was lucky to get Oleander. Nah, I'm not gonna have that here. We can figure that out someday. This also means the player will need to repeat this conversation if they, like, quit. I'll have to figure out how to do that properly. Okay, so let's save and exit here. Okay, so what did I have in here? So, what I have in my quotes, it would be ridiculous. People are dying. He's always cared about foreigners' opinions more than I preferred. Okay, this is actually good. He's always cared about foreigners' opinions more than I liked, but people are dying. Interfering with these because of that would be so unbelievably cynical. Hmm. Say state get stats. So if we got mad at him, told him as much. Hmm. You know what? It's not like I was a reasonable suspect anyway. You know, I'll be the judge of that. Actually, you don't get to decide that. And you know what? You get one sus if you say this. Honestly, I'd agree. I could have... He seems like a very cynical man. Hmm. Well... Let's just say, what do you mean? Hmm. A flock of goose. Fleece of geese. Outside my doorstep. It's more likely than you think. But okay. So it's not like I was a reasonable suspect. Let's also have, note. Let's have Oleander here. Secrets. So wasn't Oleander meant to spy on me? Hmm. I was lucky I was able to get him. I thought the whole thing was... Hmm. They were meant to keep watch on me. I thought he was here to... I thought I was still a suspect. So, I was lucky to get him... on my... What am I trying to say? I was lucky the governor let me. Oleander tail you. Let's have this. Okay. So, Oleander was meant to keep watch on me. I thought I was still a suspect. So I was lucky the governor let me have Oleander tail you. Or let's say it took a lot of convincing. Practically a favor from him to me. Hmm. So I'm surprised he didn't tell you himself. So you agree with me that he wasn't... Hmm. Lots of stuff. I should probably just have these notes up above. I don't know. That'd be a bit too confusing. But okay. So wasn't Oleander meant to keep watch on me? I thought I was still a suspect. Hmm. Hmm. I think here there's just going to be a small line of like, why else would he intensely try to let you in, follow you into that trap? Let's say this. That won't get you anywhere, and I didn't know it was a trap. Let's say, of course you didn't. He's not terribly convinced of anything. But this does mean that we do mention, whatever we did. Answered. Governor answered. Q, NL2, Gov. So in both these instances, we will mention this. Say that, and let's say, you know, yeah, let's say that. Because right here is when he actually has doubts about himself. Because it's like, well, wait, yeah, the governor did let me get, you know, one of my guys to keep an eye on you. So clearly he wasn't protecting you that hard. So I'm a fucking idiot. And this whole investigation is like, is like me having a mental breakdown. But I can't afford a therapist because the average salary in Yukaz is like $45 a year. But okay, let's see how this conversation flows right now. So your shoulder hurts from the fall. What the hell is wrong with you? I could have broken my neck. He unholsters his pistol. What is your involvement in the disappearances? What are you talking about? People started going. Oh. People started going missing. Shortly after, a foreign woman with knowledge of these machines and these ruins appears. She leads one of my men into the creature's trap, revealing this cave. Then she comes back and asks to join us into the caves. You understand how strange this all sounds, correct? It sounds like the actions of someone who knows more than they're letting on and wants to keep it close. Or it sounds like the actions of someone who wants to keep a close eye on this investigation. I'm just trying to figure out where my mother went. I didn't know about any of this until I was arrested. I was helping. God forbid I do a nice thing for people. Let's say I'm trying to figure out where my mother went. Right, of course. We'll get to her. I think it's going to be T. Bristles. That doesn't change my question, though. I just thought if I helped you, you might help me. It's stupid. Why would you expect to be able to help us? You're not a police officer. You're not a detective. I think to do response here. Another question. How do you know the governor? Why is he protecting you? Let's say a few of these. So I didn't lead Oleander to anything. He was already following me. Actually, I think the player should be paying attention. So what I'm going to do is have like a forget here. NL, or like Q, NL2, involvement. And that's going to be these two. So what do you mean protecting me? When he found out you were arrested, I was called into his office and he demanded that I don't interfere with your activities. And that's why you're holding me at gunpoint instead of arresting me. Nobody else knows what you're doing, do they? Why are these all active? That doesn't seem relevant. Interesting. So... let's say NL2Q, irrelevant. So I only knew what people everywhere know about the ruins, all that stuff. Say the governor. The governor offered me a personal security guard while I'm in the city. No, that does seem relevant. Fuck you, game. Yeah, because we got Q and L2 governed. Should be mentioned. I guess I'm just going to do... mention Q and L2 governor? I don't actually know. I completely have, like, forgotten how the, Oh, I need to go up to these ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to mention this. Okay. Try this again. From the top. It does mean that they'll be marked as repeated dialogue, though. Okay. All this stuff, that. Okay, so now that's... okay, good. So this works. The, like, dialogue that was contextual is gone because the context for it has passed. So what do you mean protecting me? And that's why you did that. So yeah, strange thing here with the notes. Doesn't seem relevant. Yeah, so the note fallback filtering doesn't work. Anything with note or anything caught by note underscore show up in the journal. Yeah, that's fine. Why is that not relevant? It should be... oh wait, no. It's because yeah. I think what I'm gonna do is nightlight security instead of that. Or maybe NL Oleander? Let's try again. Alright. Do this. Didn't know any of that. Anyone with sense would have kept their distance when we released them. Okay, so now if we do this... wasn't Oleander meant to keep watch on me? I thought I was still a suspect. Took a lot of convincing. He treated it like it was doing me a favor. So he was a spy. I'm surprised he didn't tell you himself. You know what? This is a bit treated it like he was doing me a favor. And then, so you agree with me? I was still being investigated? I should have picked a married man for the job, but he was the only one who spoke Valic. You can't be serious. I am. Why else would he advocate for you so intensely? Try to let you into the process, follow you into that trap. I didn't know it was a trap. You're just saying that because I'm a woman. That won't get you anywhere. What are some other things? Governor of the province personally apologized. Doesn't seem relevant. So, the annoying thing is the fact that these are not marked as old and busted like these ones. So I think I just did something wrong with my notification system in the journal here. Maybe it should be like it doesn't allow fallbacks. That makes sense. The notification system should not do that. But okay. Does that answer your question? Okay. Third question. I think... I think this can only happen. This whole conversation is predicated on knowing this Sadok / new mom. So I'm going to say this must be here. So I'm going to say, like, state get stat Sadok new mum. We'll do all of this stuff. Otherwise, to do more casual conversation, you must eventually reveal you are to him. Yeah, okay. Actually, I can just have this as well here. Like that. And then we'll have all this just be, was it like this? Yeah, I think it was like this. So, you must reveal information to progress. Okay. Okay, that's all good. The most bizarre... this whole thing. Sharifa Mayor. Bizarre aspect of this whole situation. It's your mother, Sharifa Mayor. It would be one thing if you were simply some random foreign woman. But the fact that you claim to know... Hang on. But the fact that this woman claimed... or the fact that you claim to be her daughter. My daughter. Your daughter? Yeah, so this is like the twist. Or this is like the bomb that gets dropped. Where did I put that? Where is this here? Okay, is it really a surprise? How else would... He puts his hand to his head. It doesn't look well. I think at this point, Sadak is like completely fried. Like he has no idea what all of this information means together. He's just kind of been overwhelmed by like the weird shit that's happening around him. Because he doesn't realize that he's talking to the protagonist of an open world video game. So like weird things are just going to be happening to her. So that's completely impossible. So do you think I'm some sort of spy? To get you specifically? So there's a reason I'm asking you the questions. Alright, I don't get what's going on. The disappearances and you. The governor. Her. It's too much. So how so? I was born almost a year after she came to the country. Let's say... simply impossible. Logistically, it's impossible. What is this word? Oh. Logicistly. So, I was born over a year after she came to the country, unless you flew all the way to... let's say... Note, Sadak. Oh my god. He thinks I'm his daughter. That's why he's acted so strangely about my mother. Okay. And I suspected you knew my mother. So when I suspected you knew my mother, I didn't realize it'd be something like this. Okay. So let's say, I don't know exactly what I want here. So, for you specifically? Posing as your daughter or something? Let's just say I don't even look like you. Nah, that's not really true. You don't, but you look like her. Let's say that. Really? I do? The eyes, mostly. They were quite like yours. Actually, and then he shakes his head. That's not the point. So let's just say, let's do like Q, NL2, mum, and then we'll also mention this. So that way we get more notes. And then we'll do like an ask once mum knew. Ask once looks. Ask once dad spy. Actually, let's swap this with dad. Because it's not, we're not asking questions about our mother, we're asking questions about how this man thinks that he's our dad. An absurd notion. Q, NL2, mum, ends. Because what we'll have here is go to this, that. So now what we need is, let's see what the stats would be. Sus greater than 5. Okay, how do we do this? Player kill? Let's call it that. So we need a function kill, save, no, get. Let's do like get tree, reload current scene. Actually, let's do a fade out. How do we actually do fade out? Global get tree fade out, I think, and then like yield get tree. Let's just create a timer. We do have to get tree. Oh wait, no. Yield doesn't exist anymore. Okay. And then otherwise... none of this is possible. I'm going to investigate on my own. Actually, I know. He starts dragging objects. Over the hole. Stop that. Do you think these are going to get... Actually, let's say, what are you doing? So I'm going to figure out what's in this cave. You're staying here. Do you think a pile of scrap is going to stop me? If I see you walking around, I am going to shoot you and kill you. Skip. Oh no, we sit. There's no point. Let's just say, actually, he's insane. There's no point reasoning with him. Best to just really might do it. It shoots into your cell, or into the hole. Narrowly missing you and completely blasting out your ears. Or narrowly missing you. The pain in your ears is enormous. He walks away. And then we're gonna do next, or like state, add stat to progress. So this is gonna be NL2, what have you, 5. Okay. Okay, so he walks away, and then we also need, notes. What do we need now? I'm not sure. I'm gonna do exit plus. What is it gonna be? Trying to figure out what is the exit here. Trapped 1. We just need to sign here of like function like close door, or like close trap. Actually, I can do that in the hideout. I'm gonna put this here instead as like function close trap pass. We're just gonna do let's call this like next. Nah, I'm gonna just do this. In fact, we could do this as well here. Context close trap. Trapped 2. So we're just going to do journal note. Sadok has gone completely fucking mad. Threatened to kill me if I... I suspect he'll kill me if I stay, too. Or I doubt he'd keep me up. Well... I'm not sure what he's... Sadok, Night, Light, 2... Yeah. Shove me in a hole, threaten to kill me if I leave. Okay. So now we need to go back through this. We're just going to do the main beats. What do you mean protecting me? That's why you're here. And now the only thing I can do is... Oh, shit. But because these... does that answer your question? Uh-oh. Oh, wait. Okay, good. What album is this from? Oh, I don't remember this one. What is this called? Verdaka Arianas. Yeah, some of this stuff is now like years old. Okay. So I have to, I know what to do. I have to remove some stats. So from Sadok B. Okay. What if we did just state remove stat Sadok B true. Oh, erase stat. Okay. That way, you have all that stuff. So, oh yeah, I forgot to unpause. So what are you talking about? You've gone insane, you've gone mad. Okay. So this one, we do this. So he was a spy. You can't be serious about this. He's in love with me. That's ridiculous. I thought he was gay. But okay. Oh yeah, the other one we don't have any relevant notes for. Does that answer your question? So the most bizarre aspect of this situation is your mother. It would be one thing if it was just another foreign woman. But the fact that you claim to be her daughter, my daughter... Alright. He's dying. We're beating the boss. This is our boss battle, basically. I should probably make the room look cool. That's going to be like an important thing in some of these conversations, of just making the area look interesting and having good like cinematography for these conversations, because otherwise they're going to be pretty boring. Well, admittedly, there's so much interaction in the dialogue. Like, it's not just a linear sequence of things. It prompts you frequently for like input. So when I suspected you knew my mother, I didn't. That's simply impossible. Actually, no. I'm going to go through each one. I don't even look like you. You don't, but you look like her. Really? I do? The eyes, mostly. They were quite like yours. He shakes his head. That's not the point. Do you think I'm some sort of spy posing as your daughter? There's a reason I'm asking you the questions, alright? I don't understand this. The disappearances, you, the governor, her. It's too much. It's simply impossible. Logistically, it's impossible. How so? I was born over a year after she came to the country. Unless you took a boat to Valen for an affair. Oh. Oh. Get tree. Current scene. He's gonna freaking shoot me. Okay, he killed me. He killed me in real life for that. Okay, the timing simply doesn't add up. So let's do like a plus sus -1. Actually, let's do like debug. Have... Oh yeah, we can just do sus. Points. And need less than 6 to survive. Okay. Let's try this again. It's a long conversation. And also we have to do state data, remove stat, Sadoc, be true. And yet again, it's not remove, it's erase. Oh, not state data. Okay. Try it again. What are you talking about? I don't know anything here. What do you mean protecting you? And that's why you're here. Okay. Oh yeah, the journal's getting all fucked up now, because now there's a whole bunch of things that he's saying. Governor... Okay, let's just say, does that answer your question? Okay. Okay, debug. You have 4 points and need less than 6 to survive. Okay, and then he pauses. Wait, what is the there? Oh, right, here. Simply doesn't work. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, then why even bring it up? What do you mean? Actually, this should be bold. Yeah, what do you mean, why bring it up? I'm looking for her, idiot. You know, let's say that this gets 2 points, basically for free, since you have to say this. I just thought you knew who she was. Just mentioned her name once and I could see that you knew her. I didn't know anything else. Okay. He paces. How could fate have brought us together like this? Okay. I see you walking around. I'm going to kill you. He shoots into the hole, narrowly missing you. The pain in your ears is... let's say the sound is painful enough. So let's say the sound alone. Narrowly missing us. So no. 2 A's is scared. 2 H's is relaxed. Okay. And then system error, this stuff, journal note. Why is that bad? Why did this fail? Oh, right, because we need night light trapped. Well, that's awkward, but thankfully then we're in here. Okay, good enough. Okay, so we now have the full interrogation sequence in basically good enough form, because it gives me, it reveals basically all of the information that I need revealed. It's not as, like, negative as I thought it would be. Like, I thought Sadok would really, like, be nasty about knowing Jackie's mom, because he hates Jackie's mom. But that didn't really fit with, like, the vibe of it, because he's more, like, at wit's end. He's not in the position to, like, I don't know, play good cop, bad cop with you. But okay. I'm gonna put this marked up. Let's where's the stuff that I needed? Continue part 2, investigate the cave, dialogue for the shelter. We don't got either of these. We don't got this, we don't got that. Sadok's trap, leading you to a place, blocking your exit. The interrogation. This, that, the missing people, the governor. Okay. So next time will be the escape. Because basically what's going to happen now is when Sadok goes off on his own, he finds the creature, he actually gets trapped by it, or captured, or whatever it does, and he gets taken to whatever's going to, like, kill him. We have to then find him, and I'm wondering if Oleander and whoever, like, reinforcements he has will come at this point, because that would be very good. Or, well, that would make things... That could be good for us as the player, because that would mean that multiple people would see us rescuing Sadok, and would see that Sadok fucked up and got captured, and that we had to save him. And that would put him in, like, a good deal of pain, basically. Or, like, it would make him humbled, I'd say. And I think that would also leave him mad enough that we would have to do, like, one more quest to, like, you know, turn him around to our side. Okay. Good, good, good. This was productive. But it's 10 p.m., so I'm gonna go to bed. The trap sequence. Nope. Alright. So I'll be back tomorrow. And if it's at a pace like this, I could get the entire thing done. That'd be good. I've been on this quest for like a month. But okay. Thanks for stopping by. I will see you tomorrow.